Hello, my name is Melissa Holden, and I still don't have a catchphrase. What I was going to do is just talk to get warmed up because I wanted to tell a couple stories. But till then, I thought I'd just talk on camera. And what better thing to talk about than what's on my mind right now? I'm trying to figure out why they're saying now that they figured out, well, it's not now, it's just a matter of having my DNA test run by different people because I don't like what they're saying. But every time they end up, I want just one thing verified, but instead what I get every time is different ethnicity, and well, this one doesn't give you an ethnicity, so I thought I'll trust them. And what they had done is they explained it as they take your DNA and they match it to populations, and it matches perfectly with being European, except for one little part. There's just one little part that's not like other Europeans. And so what they do is they zero in on that chromosome and they find it and they look for matches. And what they do is they take, because populations don't follow boundaries, of course. So what they do is they just take people, and they found that this one chromosome is a match for people in China. It's Chinese, something like Eastern China and Western China, both of them. But it matches, and the reason, it might not be Chinese, but the population that lives in China now at the point in time, at one point in time, the same point in time that they have, I'm trying not to get too complex and explain it so you understand it. Okay, there's a segment that they think is from a certain time period. Then they look at where it matches, because it has to match at that time period, because my DNA now obviously does not match Chinese or Indian or American or all these different Native American is what I mean. And they're like trying to, so what they're doing is, and they really piqued my interest there, and so I looked on different websites, and sure enough, yeah, I can see where they got it. It's not like these people are stupid. They're really smart. They're a whole lot smarter than me, and they know what they're doing, and they get paid to do it. So, anyway, what they do is they say, well, your DNA has been in people in your ancestry at a certain point in time. You inherited DNA that was, at that point in time, that DNA was in China. Now, I started coming up with some good stories, and my daughter came up with some really good science fiction stories. And wait to explain that. At one point in her story, she killed off the woman, and I was like, wait, the woman has to have a child. It can't be the woman. If the man is traveling, he has to kidnap the woman and bring her back, and then he can die, but the woman can't die until she's had a child. It was just funny, and then she explained how it could be. Anyway, so, am I talking long enough? 3 minutes and 50-some seconds, okay. So, anyway, it's like, if you look at the modern population, it doesn't match. And the thing is they don't know that. They just say this DNA is the same DNA that they had at that point in time. So, something going on there was also going on with someone who is a progenitor of mine, an ancestor of mine. I have their DNA, and at that point in time, it matched. That person's DNA matched. But it's like it's the exact same part that no one can understand where it came from. It's like this weird thing. It's like, well, you matched. This one website had a tool on a website for this. It was a comparison tool, and they had, well, they use this for, it's like if you're doing a test, you have a test group, a group that isn't changed, and you a model group maybe to see how it deviated. Anyway, so I matched this test group, except for this one little SNP is what it's called. I can't remember what that stands for, but SNP. This one little part in a chromosome is different than other Europeans, and that's what's interesting. The first website decided, oh, you're from Greenland because you matched this DNA from Greenland. Then they say, well, then you're from Iceland, and you match all these people from Iceland. And that makes sense, because then I could figure out how that could be, but I still don't know how I matched the Greenland. Like, I've explained in previous videos how there is one website that takes haplogroups. Are you familiar with those? How it takes how migrations happened, and they can chart that. And they can show how one DNA and one culture, a match, how it traveled from this place to that place. So it's easy to follow from Sweden to Norway to Iceland. But then the match that matches a find in Greenland does not come from Iceland. So, and then that brings me to another test I'd taken where they had it figured out. It was Native American, and that fits what the paper trail that I have on my church website. There's early settlers in New York, I think it was. And I still have not actually sat down and looked at that, but I do know that there's another website that I went to that claimed. So somebody who is very intelligent has done the genealogy work. I have not verified it, but I'm just assuming that they wouldn't put something on there if they didn't think it was right. Anyway, they have like a bunch of Mohicans and stuff. Mohegans, actually, not Mohican. It's spelled it's H-E-G-A-N. And it's from Connecticut. Or maybe it was from New York, Canada. Anyway, I do know, I did follow, and that was not genetic, but I do have paper trails where the people came from Canada to Michigan, because they were following fertile soil. And that's something that my mother always used to say about Michigan too, that I miss Michigan. She says, the ground there, you just put something in the ground and it shoots up. It's definitely not that way in Mississippi. I've grown things, I can't remember what the disease is that would take things over, but I grow things and I take care of it perfectly well, thinking, oh, this is gonna, because it was for my children and I wanted it to grow up, and then it just destroyed at like the last stage or something, and I'd just be like, I guess so. The leaves turn black. I remember that much. I don't remember much from that, but anyway, I think now I've talked long enough. I can go and tell the other stories. Have a great day.